Richard is going to share us a sort of story about bringing light into darkness, but not just any light. So please put your hands together for Richard Turner.
In Africa, 600 million people have no access to electricity and use kerosene or candles for light. Yet Africa receives more sunshine than any other continent, and sunshine is free. If you want to achieve a breakthrough, you need to fail. And it's in that moment of failure that you will see something that you missed before. I want to share with you a story of failure. To begin with, it is the same story that was shared with me when I joined SolarAid. It's rather bizarre to be told about failure when you join somewhere new. Some bright spark at SolarAid had a brilliant idea. What if we could put a solar-powered light inside a kerosene lamp like this? It would have a number of advantages. The lamp could easily be adapted. Families were familiar with this style of lamp. They were not familiar with the new style of technology of solar lights. There was a lack of trust in these strange-looking products, whereas a lamp could easily be hung or carried. It sounds like a great idea. And here I have the original prototype. Genius. Disaster. People hated it. Why? One simple reason. The kerosene lamp is a symbol of poverty. People didn't want a solar light inside a kerosene lamp. They wanted a light bulb or something better. So in that moment, SolarAid changed. Instead of developing products, we would get to know the one thing better than anyone else: the customer. It taught us an important lesson that resides at the core of who we are and what we do. We learned how families typically spend up to 20% of their household income on kerosene for light alone. So we created Sunny Money, a social venture that sells solar lights in Africa. And that is a paradigm shift. We have to treat people not as beneficiaries, but as customers. We find the best solar products that meet the needs of our customers. Yes, we sell solar lights to poor people, and actually it's so much better, because as a customer, rather than a beneficiary, we really put the power in their hands. There's a warranty if the product should ever fail, and people value what they buy, and word of mouth spreads. And more than anything, we have to listen to our customers. So we learned a really important and valuable lesson, that failure can lead to great insights. And that primed us for our next flop. And this time, I was there. Tanzania, the Sunny Money team was out visiting schools in Arusha and Kilimanjaro. It was a new approach, promoting solar lights. I recall, as we gathered round to look at the results, they were below even our lowest expectations. We couldn't understand why we had failed. So I need to wind back to the previous year, to an island off the coast of Tanzania called Mafia, and it's just below Zanzibar. The Sunny Money teams had just achieved something extraordinary. In 3 days, they had sold and distributed 3,000 solar lights. Now, at that time, it was taking SolarAid at least an entire year to distribute and sell that many off through an entire country. So how had they achieved this? The local team had taken the initiative to visit each of the schools and meet the head teachers to promote solar lights. The head teachers had told the teachers had told the students, and the students had told mum and dad, and the lights had sold like hotcakes. Now, there are many benefits of a solar light, but the one that really matters to parents is to help their son or daughter study. And we've since learned that the child with a solar light will study at least 1 hour extra each night. So 1 year on, we took this to the mainland of Tanzania. This was the moment that it was all meant to take off, and it had flopped. And then something extraordinary happened. We didn't accept that the results would just have to do, and I think that's a trap that many NGOs fall into. We had to do better. we did accept the failure. It wasn't brushed under the carpet, and only then did the moment of insight come. What if instead of going to each of the schools, we got all of the schools to come to us? We could gather all the head teachers together in one area. It would be so much more time effective. And critically, who would be the person delivering the message to the teachers and students? Not a stranger from Sunny Money, but one of the most trusted people in the community, the head teachers. I recall that moment on the slopes of Mount Meru in Arusha. Here is a scribble in my notebook. Headmasters meetings, 2 stars! So we tried again. The same team, the same area, the same lights. And the sales went exponential. And since then, we've replicated it across all of Africa. Yes, this is real hockey stick growth, and the Sunny Money way was born. Our approach is spreading and is more sustainable than an traditional aid could ever be. We have now exceeded 750,000 solar lights, and Sunny Money is the biggest seller and distributor in Africa. By March, we aim to reach 1 million. But we still have a way to go, because before that failure in Tanzania, we set ourselves a goal to eradicate the kerosene lamp from Africa by the end of the decade. I truly believe we will succeed, but the reason is because we are not afraid to fail. And when we do fail, we will recall that yet again we may be on the verge of yet another breakthrough.
Wonderful. So don't be afraid to fail. Driving new innovations, new business models, new mechanisms out for each. Robert, what would you think about Richard and SolarAid's attitude to failure?
I love Richard's sort of soundbite, to gain the insight in that moment of failure. It's one so you can take the failure down, not to sort of a big thing, but actually that very one sort of hour or half hour or conversation, really trying to identify what the, no pun intended, the light bulb moment was within that. I also thought it was very interesting about the headmaster speaking to the conference. It validates the thinking that peer-to-peer trust is much more robust than sort of top-down trust. But I think that's good. I sense of awe at the numbers and the hockey stick, with a slight tinge of sadness, actually. Because, of course, you adopted bad behaviours of consumerising everything in order to get to the end result. He said the customer lies at the heart of everything, absolutely. We didn't see these people as beneficiaries but as customers, absolutely. And I do think we have to be aware of consumerising everything, and to the thing about B&Q earlier, just to always maintain that it's okay to consumerise only if you can hold on to the core ideology at its heart. So, you know, I think there's just a bit of a lesson in there as well, and a sort of revelation for me as I was hearing you talk. But you can't argue with the numbers.
That's amazing. Thank you. Charmaine.
So I was pretty impressed by the fact that you recounted 2 rather than just 1 failures, and I imagine if you did it next you might go 3 or maybe 4. So I thought that was refreshingly honest. Again, going to Robert's point about that light bulb moment, but it felt like it was a chink of light where within that chink of failure you saw that light. So that was quite a nice kind of image to have around your head, really, if you're in the middle of trying to develop a new product. I think I disagree with Robert on the consumerism. I think it's an amazing intersection of development, a charity, the consumer, something that's sustainable, something that's in the developing world. So I think that was a really nice example of it. Obviously, if it goes too far down one line, we'll all be a bit worried. But, you know, I thought that was really, really great. Yeah.
Amazing. Let there be light. Dax.
I mean, great story. I think I saw 3 of the Malcolm Gladwell things that he says that make an idea really take off. So you've got your power of context, and I love the light, the educational piece and the health piece to eliminate kerosene lamps. You know, great sort of story there. And you've got your mavens, which are the teachers, the headmasters. The sticky message is slightly missing for me. I don't know about Sunny Money, and Son Edison talks about eradicating the darkness, which, right or wrong, kind of grabs you by the so you know, but great story. I'd like to see a more powerful strapline ambition ethos, I suppose, cutting through and grabbing us by whatever you like.
Okay, and on that note, let's ask the judges to flick through their numbers, which have obviously been arranged in numerical order to make it really easy. This is a kind of like, it's like a scene from Come Dine With Me, isn't it, when everyone's sort of slightly drunk in the back of a black cab. Okay, so scores on the doors are?
7.
7.
2 7s and an 8. Lovely, thank you very much. Round of applause for Richard. So in a moment, I'm going to invite our 4 intrepid contestants back onto the stage and throw it open to the floor for some live Q&A on getting some clarity around this business of failure. But before that, I'll just run through the scores one more time, and we will do the vote on who is going to be this evening's gloriously unrewarded heroic failure of the night. So our judges put the scores at Richard in 4th place with 22, Trewin in 3rd place with 23, Matt in 2nd place with 25, and Sue in 1st place with 26. As I said before, these are completely non-binding. Feel free to ignore the expertise and recommendations of the panel. But I ask you to cheer now in a completely arbitrary way. I'm going to try and assess the volume of that cheering to see who is the winner. So if you think Trewin's heroic gay porn magazine failure is the number 1 of the night, cheer now. Well, that's the most resounding silence I've ever heard. If you think Sue Riddlestone's bold attempts to try and sustainability-ise the Olympics are the heroic failure of the night, cheer now. Or whoop. Whatever you like. If you think Matt Sexton's B&Q wind turbine spin is the heroic failure of the evening, cheer, whoop, make noise now. Okay, it's all clear, so it's all down to Richard. Right, so if you think Richard and the story of the bold, bringing light into the darkness of Africa initiatives around Sunny Money and SolarAid is the heroic failure of the evening, cheer now. I think we're all the winners. Richard, stand up and take a bow. Give him another round of applause.